Okay, so this is the first video in the modal harmony series, so I'm going to go over the Ionian mode. This is the same as the major scale, as I said before. So in the keys of C major, it's C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So it's very easy, there's no sharps and no flats. The root note, in this case, would be C. And for the characteristic notes for the Ionian mode are the fourth, the perfect fourth, and the major seventh. So in the key of C, the root is C, the fourth is F, and the other characteristic note is, on the seventh, is B. If I play them all together, they sound like this. Not such a great sound, but you don't have to play them like that. You just have to play them in the series of the chord progression. You don't have to play them all at the same time. But before I go into that, I'll show you some chords you can use for the root note or the root chord of your chord progression. So, of course, you can use, just major triad, a C major triad in this case. You can use a seventh chord, C major seventh. That's a nice one. You can use a variation on the seventh chord, like a C major 13th. Or C major ninth. There's also, you don't forget about the fourth, the sus fourths, so you could use this. You can also do the sus twos. And another one I really like for major seventh is the C6-9. Not really hitting that E there, sorry. So that one has the D and the A in it, so it sounds kind of nice, at least to me. And another one that I really like is the G triad over C. So I have a G triad here, and then in the bass I have C. So it sounds like this. Or I can do it here. That sounds really nice to me, so I think those are all, really nice chords you can use if you're trying to make a C Ionian progression. And that last chord, I know it sounds a little bit strange. You basically take whatever the fifth note of the chord, or the scale is, or the mode is. In this case it's G, make that a major triad, and put that on top of the root note. So put the root note in the bass. So G is the fifth note, so G major, and then put C in the bass. Easy enough, right? Another thing you can do is what I showed before, like the chordal harmony. So in C major, it would just be. Or some of the Holdsworth style chords I showed before. If you haven't checked out that video, check that one out. So things like this. So all those things are really cool to use over, something like Ionian harmony, especially those last two, the chordal voicings and the Holdsworth style voicings, because you don't hear those so often. So if you kind of want to change things up, use some of those. It might give you some new ideas. Okay, now on to common chord progressions. So the most common chord progression or chord progressions would be like C, F, G. So I'm sure you've heard, I think Beatles song, like. I shouldn't say it's a Beatles song, I think somebody else wrote it before that. It's 100 different songs that I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm sure you've heard them. Also, there's other variations you can do with that, so almost any variation of those chords, so like. That's just F, G, C, or G, F, C. So there's all sorts of variations you can do with that, so that's a really common one. Another one, I've heard it called the emotional girl chord progression, or some people call it the pop progression. If you ever heard the song Four Chords by Axis of Awesome, check that song out if you haven't already heard it. But it goes over about like 50 songs that use this exact same chord progression. But anyways, it's just C major, G major, A minor, F major, or not if you're doing it like in general, not a key. It's 1 major, 5 major, 6 minor, 4 major. And so there's tons of songs that use that. That's a very common one. Another common one for jazz is the 2-5-1. Super famous. Almost every jazz song uses this chord progression. So in the key of C, it would be D minor 7, G7, and then C major 7. So that is also a super common one. And in fact, another super common one is just C, G7, C. Actually, before I go on, the reason all these work is because they have those two notes, the two characteristic notes. So if we just look at the last one I did, so C major, G7, C. So 1 major, 5, 7, and 1 major again. So this C major has C, that's our root notes. G7 has an F, that's one of the characteristic notes. B, that's another one of the characteristic notes. And then back to the root. So it works, and that's the reason why it perfectly defines the modality of C Ionian. And the other ones do the same. So like C major, the emotional girl chord progression, you have C major, that has C in the root. You have G, that has your B note. A minor, that has your C in it, the root note. F, and that's your other characteristic note. So it has all of them in there. Another one I should go over is I call this a classical chord progression. This is, really classic major harmony. So this one is just C major. Ooh, my guitar's really out of tune. Sorry about that. There was something wrong with my intonation, so I tried to fix it. Probably didn't do a good job. Where was I? So, anyways, I was saying the classical progression. So that one's just C major, F major, then you have C major with G in the bass, G major, and then back to C. So. So that one's also another nice one. But these are just like some common progressions. I'm sure I'm leaving out some, but check some of those out, mess around with them, and try to add your own variations. Also, there's some other things you can do, like less common ones, like for example, C major, E minor, G minor, C major. Or one that I really like is you take that G over C and move that to F over C. So just so that's one you don't hear so often, but I like that one. That's nice, Ionian chord progression, in my opinion. But also remember, you don't have to play these, just as, one block. You can also play them, like arpeggiate them, make a riff, etc. So you could do or something like that. Or you can even use some of, the other chords, like, let's say, here's one I like. It's a sus chord that's spread over 3 strings, so just like this. So you could play something like and that wasn't such great playing. I kind of messed up there in a little bit, but you know, just something like that. You know, I was trying to come up with something, you know, off the top of my head, or you know. Anyways, those are all things you can do with the Ionian mode, and ways you can mess around with it. So try some of the chordal voicings, try some of those, you know, Alan Holdsworth style voicings, try, you know, just regular major triads, and just remember you need the root note, you need the fourth, and the major seventh. So as long as you have those, you'll clearly define the tonality, and hopefully you'll find something. It won't be, you know, too cliche. And always remember, you can also do, you know, other things too. It doesn't have to be, you know, straight playing. Sometimes it's not the chord progression, but, you know, how you play it. So good luck, and, you know, if you come up with something cool, let me know. Post it below if you have any questions or comments or just whatever. Until next time, see you. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed that video, please remember to thumbs it up, check out some of my other videos below, and don't forget, subscribe. Thanks. Bye.